So what are the system databases? Well, SQL Server has 5 different system databases, beginning with the master database. The master database is the heart of SQL Server. If the master database were to become corrupt, or if you weren't able to connect to it, then you would not be able to start SQL Server. The service would return an error saying that the database has become corrupt. Now, in the master database, it holds instance-wide information. This includes all of the security information, the logins, linked servers, anything that is instance-wide. The model database. The model database, consider it the cookie cutter of databases. If I were to go into SQL Server or let's say SQL Server Data Tools, I open up a query and I type in create database new. That would create a new user database. However, in that statement, I did not specify where I want the data file, where I want the log file. I didn't specify the recovery model. So any of the options that aren't covered specifically within our create database statement will be taken from the model database. If the model database is not available or it becomes corrupt, again, SQL Server will not be able to start. Now, another useful purpose for the model database is consider all of the new databases that you create will always have a user-defined stored procedure that has been created and used within all of the user databases within your instance. So, rather than going through and manually creating that stored procedure every time a new database is created, you can create it within the model database. When the new user database is created, it will automatically copy all of the system tables and objects from the model database, including that stored procedure, and put it in that new user database. The MSDB database. All things that are scheduled or that are handled by SQL Server Agent are stored within the MSDB database. This includes alerts, operators, and agent jobs. The temp database is used extensively within SQL Server. It's recreated every time SQL Server is restarted. This is the only database that will be recreated upon restart or upon completely truncating all of the tables. The temp database is used extensively. Consider the temp database in some cases as the page file within the Windows operating system. If SQL Server were to run out of memory and it needs some place to store information, the temp database will be used. It's also used to store things such as temporary tables. The MS SQL System Resource Database. Now, this database was introduced in SQL Server 2005. Ironically enough, you will not be able to find it within SQL Server Data Tools. It is a read-only database. This database is used to store many system objects within it. It's found within the root folder, and typically this is going to be C, Program Files, Microsoft SQL Server, MS SQL 11. If that, within the MS SQL 11, if it is a named instance, then that would be followed by MS SQL 11, period, the name of the instance. Then it would be found within the MS SQL bin folder. This database, upon service packs or updates, will be taken out of read-only, put into read-write, and then the update applied, and it would then be placed back into a read-only format. Now, Microsoft has obviously locked this off for some reason, so it's not something that we can write queries directly against by default, not something that we can even see directly within any of the tools provided by Microsoft.